Hello, my name is Daniel Kobian. This is my video presentation for KNES 5005, Module 9 at AT Still University. I have been working in the sports performance field for a number of years now, and I predominantly work with athletes around the college ages. As we all know, nutrition and diet can have a huge impact on sports performance. The typical nutrition-related questions I get asked are often associated to supplementations, specifically which ones I think should be on the top of their list. Seldomly do I receive nutritional questions related to macronutrients. However, the athletes that do come seeking advice are usually concerned with protein and its role in performance and how to build lean muscle. About a year or so ago, I was asked a question regarding carbohydrates. An athlete asked how important they are and if it was wise to exclude them from their diet. Apparently, he had heard or read about excluding carbohydrates, which was said to improve body fat percentage. Now, during that time, my nutritional background was pretty limited, and I responded with some pretty vague and basic information. However, I'm happy to say that my nutritional knowledge base has improved tremendously after taking this course. So the question I will be addressing today is how important is taking in carbohydrates, and how do they relate to exercise performance? Now, during exercise, carbohydrates are a really important fuel. The way they act in our bodies depend on the carbohydrate stores that are in our systems before exercise, as well as the exercise intensity and duration. As Drupp stated in 2010, carbohydrates are a critical fuel source during intense exercise, as muscle glycogen is linked to exercise performance. In other words, as the intensity of exercise goes up or increases, the more your body relies on carbohydrates for energy. Carbohydrate ingestion during exercise can also have a positive effect on performance. Ensuring proper recovery and refueling after training sessions can also have an impact on future exercise sessions. With that said, I will explain how taking in carbohydrates before, during, and after can affect exercise performance. The timing of taking in carbohydrates can play a role in performance before high intensity and short exercise durations. To provide some research evidence, in 2010, Galloway and Associates conducted a study investigating the influence of timing of pre-exercise carbohydrate feedings. Now, prior to the study, the 17 male participants with the average age of 23 years performed a peak power output test. Each of the 4 trials included an ingestion of 32 grams of carbohydrates and electrolyte sports drink, taken 30 minutes or 120 minutes before exercise compared to groups taking a placebo sports drink. When the trials were over, the important findings was that high-intensity exercise capacity was significantly improved by 17% when ingesting 32 grams of carbohydrates 30 minutes before exercise, compared to 2 hours before and the placebo groups. Participants included in the study were only overnight fasted, and liver glycogen stores were not fully depleted, posing a limitation. However, the highlights of the study does show an important role in pre-exercise ingestion of carbohydrates and their effects on high-intense, short-duration exercise performance. Now, ingesting carbohydrates during high-intense exercise can also have a positive impact on performance. To expand on this idea, in 2005, Winnick and others examined the effects of carbohydrate intakes on physical and central nervous system function during high-intensity exercise with the physical demands similar to team sports such as basketball. 20 men and women with the average age of 24 years performed 3 practice sessions before 2 experimental trials, which included 4 15-minute quarters, while being fed either a 6% carbohydrate solution or a placebo during every hour. Performance was evaluated on maximal 20-meter sprints, a 60-second maximal jumping test, cognitive function, testing of motor skills, and target jumping accuracy between each quarter. When the intervention was over, Winnick and others revealed that when compared to the placebo group, the carbohydrate feeding during exercise resulted in faster 20-meter sprint times and higher average jump height in the 4th quarter, along with enhancing motor skills. Now, the benefits of this study was only applied to the lower body, providing a limitation preventing and extending these findings to the entire body. However, the key observations of this study show a positive correlation of ingesting 41 grams of carbohydrates every hour during high-intense exercise and performance. As athletes, it is common to undertake multiple workouts or competitions within a small time frame. Now, with that said, as pointed out in 2011 by Burke and Associates, the restoration of muscle and liver glycogen is a fundamental goal of recovery between exercise sessions. Daily carbohydrate intake should match the fuel needs of training. Ingestion of carbohydrates during recovery can be made simple. Targets for carbohydrate intake are usually based on body mass and exercise load. Some recommendations provided by Berg and others during light to moderate activity suggest carbohydrate intakes between 3 and 7 grams per kilogram of body mass per day, while 6 to 12 grams per kilogram of carbohydrates are recommended for high and very high physical activities. Following these recommendations by including protein and nutrient-rich carbohydrate foods will allow athletes to meet their nutritional goals. In conclusion, and in addressing the question of how important carbohydrates can be during exercise performance, the literature I presented showed that ingesting carbohydrates before exercise, during exercise, and during the recovery process can have an influential effect on performance. Now, there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to taking in carbohydrates. Every athlete is their own, as we all weigh differently, and carbohydrate recommendations are based on the grams ingested per kilograms of body weight. Furthermore, the amount and type of food should be chosen to fit the needs of the events and the athlete's preferences. In other words, figure out what works and what fits best for you. All of the studies that I presented offer insight when fluids are ingested, which can promote and enhance physical and central nervous system functions. This little change of adding dietary carbohydrates throughout the course of high-intense exercise provide increased performance changes compared to instances of not following recommendations or placebos. Thank you.